with that being said, let's talk to Miss Jennifer Bond. I am all blingy today, and you can thank Jennifer for that. And I know she's going to be talking about some other things, but I just wanted to. I'm always wearing my bling from you because it's the awards, right? It's the awards, and everyone gets gifted. But if you don't know Jennifer Bond, please, her story is in the book as well. She's amazing. Now, I love this. We haven't had this conversation. We've danced around this word all day, but this is the first time we're going to hear the word vision. So she is an expert vision strategist for women all over the world. She is an award-winning direct sales professional, a sector that is close to my heart. I love the accessibility and scalability of the direct selling professional world. She is also an international best-selling author, and her topic is you don't need to choose. Ooh. That's so good. You don't need to choose. Now, the thing that you may not know about her is that she followed a little girl vision. There you go. She had trekked the Himalayas. And the music that she wrote down, I listened to Phil. It's always at Wilcom this morning. He does the most inspirational. I see Leslie's nodding her head. And so the music that you're listening to is him, and it's very uplifting if you don't know his music. Now, she has an incredible gift for everybody, or an incredible gift for that one person who's winning, and it's an exclusive Discover Your And. She talks about your A-N-D, strategy session, and that's valued at $500. This is not the first time that she's been on this stage. Everybody loves to come listen to Jennifer. As you can see, the room is full. So Jennifer, let me hand it over to you. You are well versed on a stage, so welcome back to the Stand Up, Speak Up, and Show Up Summit. Yes, you.
So much. Well, I am absolutely thrilled to be here this evening. And you know what? You just said something I have to just comment on quickly. That books find people. I just wrote that down on my pad. And the legacy that books leave, the legacy that each of the women who were a part of the incredible movement of 262 and the book and these book launches, like you said, the legacy, the ripple effect of what's happening, and what an incredible way to be able to live our and to be able to have that legacy live on. So I just wanted to mention that quickly. Well, I am absolutely thrilled to be here this evening, and I know I am at the bookend of the day. I am almost at the tail end of the day, and what an inspiring and empowering day filled with incredible trainings. And I just want to say congratulations first and foremost to each and every woman who is on here, whether your face is on our virtual summit right here, or if you are off camera and you are listening. And that's because you have shown up for yourself. You know, you have shown up for yourself. You have shown up for your life. You have shown up for your business. You've shown up for your book. You've shown up for your message, and you've shown up for this movement. And what better way than to be celebrating on this International Women's Day weekend that we have. And again, I am just thrilled to be a part of this community and to be a very, very small part of it. I want to get a really quick idea before I hop into my talk this evening. I want to get a quick idea of who is currently on with us right now. If you would quickly just tell me, and I'm going to have you use the chat because it'll be a little bit easier for me to see. If you would drop in the chat for me quickly and let me know if you are an entrepreneur, if you are a solopreneur, or you have your own business, just out of curiosity. So you can write it out or you can drop it in the chat. Really quickly. Okay, solopreneurs, entrepreneurs, solopreneur, business owner. Okay, so do this for me now too. Drop a 2 in the chat for me if you consider yourself to be a leader, whether it's in your company, your community, or your home. So do you consider yourself to be a leader? Okay. And finally, drop a 3 in the chat for me if you are looking for ways to up-level your leadership and not have to choose between all of these things that we have in front of us. Okay, well, no matter where you are in any of those things, whether you are a leader of yourself, somebody in your company, in your community, and also in your household, this is is going to be a really important conversation that we have today. And I want to really create some awareness for you so that you can step more boldly into those leadership roles in those different places. So there's a couple of things that I want to cover in the short amount of time that we have together that I have to be able to speak to you. A couple of things I want to do is, number one, I want to help to create some awareness. So, awareness is the key. I think we all know that. And certainly having that awareness, I love what Deb just shared about intuition. And to me, intuition and awareness are so commingled. I think they are so commingled and so aligned. So I want to create a little bit of awareness. Now, the second thing that I want to accomplish during our time together is I want to share some simple shifts that you can make in your life, in your leadership, in those different leadership hats that you wear, to help you to possibly break through some barriers. And the third thing is that I want to get you to think a little bit differently. So I was doing some research when I was thinking about our topic, and as I have been writing my book that is a continuation of the message of really living your and about what it looks like in this day and age to be a female leader in the world. And in doing some research, one of the things that I found out was really interesting. So I'm curious if you know this, that 70 to 80% of consumer purchasing decisions in the world globally are made by women. 70 to 80% of consumer purchasing decisions globally are made by women. The striking thing, though, in doing this research is that did you know that less than 30% of women hold leadership roles? And in the United States alone, which is where I live, less than 10% of CEOs are actually women. And so it had me thinking about, why is that? Okay? Why is that? Why is that we see those statistics, that we see this really weird, strange misalignment, if you will? And would you agree that it's not because there's a lack of ability in women, right? We all know that. There's strength in women. I mean, hello, there is not a lack of ability. But my question to you is it possible that sometimes we as women are unconsciously doing some things that are holding us back? Things that are making us think that we have to choose between these different roles, these different responsibilities. So what I want to do with you today is I want to share with you what some of the struggles are, the top struggles of women, and more importantly, I want to share with you how to overcome those struggles. Because again, this weekend, this summit, this movement, it's all about celebrating women, and it's all about empowering and inspiring women. So quickly, I will share with you, Deb shared a little bit. You might be asking, some of you may be asking, why me? Deb shared that, some of my credentials, but I will tell you, in the last 25 years that I have been mentoring and coaching women, I have coached all different women from all different walks of life. I have had, as Deb mentioned, a career in the direct sales space as a top leader and as a mentor in the field level, on the corporate level as well. I have worked with women who have been starting startup businesses, startup authors, small businesses, all the way up to top performing, high achieving women who had multi seven-figure businesses. And one of the things that I have discovered along the way is that there are these similar patterns, and there's 7 of them that happen along the way. So I want you to think for a couple of minutes. I want you to put your leadership hat on for a minute as a leader that is a leader in your home, your community, in the company, and the organization that you're a part of. And what I want you to think about is, I want you to think about leadership as a very, very powerful engine, okay? Picture for a moment, leadership is a very powerful engine. We could have the most powerful engine out there. We could fuel that engine up. It could be the latest, the greatest, and the best. But if we didn't release the brake, if our foot was on the brake, that engine, that vehicle would not move. So it's so critically important that we think about what are those areas that maybe we're getting a little bit stuck. So let me dive in quickly into the 7 key areas that women have a tendency to start to struggle and to get stuck. And I want to share some ideas with you on how you can overcome this. Now, I did not share this with Deb ahead of time, but I will tell you, for those of you who are note takers like me, I already mentioned I'm a note taker. I have a little extra gift for everybody. So Deb, I do have something that's a little extra gift for everybody. So for those of you that are note takers, go ahead, take your notes. That's fine. We know we retain about 60% more of what we hear when we take notes. However, if you do better, if you're an auditory listener, I actually have an entire one sheet. I'm going to give you all my notes. Okay, so I'm going to give you all my notes as well. You can use them later for yourself, for personal reflection, or even in your businesses as well. So no problem. So let's dive into what the 7 different areas are. First and foremost, one of the biggest struggles that we as women often have is that little phrase, imposter syndrome, self-doubt. Raise your hand here if you have ever had self-doubt about something that you were going to pursue, a business that you were going to start, a book you were going to write. Yeah, it's really, really common. In fact, if you look at any of the market data research, you will see that imposter syndrome is the number one thing that we as women struggle with. We struggle with this. So often we're really undervaluing what our expertise is. You are preventing yourself from really stepping into that next thing because of the fact that you're undervaluing what you know. And we know that at least 60% of women in the world experience imposter syndrome. In fact, I don't know, it just doesn't feel like it's just been a couple of years, it feels like, where we started hearing this phrase, right, of imposter syndrome. For so long, it was like, oh, well, they're not confident or they have low self-esteem, but it is a real true thing. Here's what I love about this entire platform right here. What I love about this platform right here is the fact that when it comes to imposter syndrome, when it comes to really being in a space where you can feel included, that's what this space is all about. I love the mantra of the 262 mantra: show up, stand up, and speak up, in all bold letters. I think it is so empowering. And that's what I want to invite you to do. That as you start to think about, okay, I'm starting to feel a little bit insecure. I'm starting to feel like, am I capable of doing this? I want to encourage you. You are enough. You are capable, and the world needs your leadership right now. Is it possible that you are doubting yourself and doubting your abilities, and the world actually isn't, but you're getting in your own way? So what's the second thing that women struggle with whenever they are stepping in to a more bold leadership role in any of those different areas? The second thing is that they wait for permission and they don't take initiative. And man, Deb, you teed me up perfectly with intuition talking about this. Here's how you combat that. Trust your gut, trust your intuition. It will not lead you astray if you are really tapped into that. It is so true that so often we as women have an idea, or we're waiting for permission and we don't take that initiative. And when we hold out and we don't take that initiative, then amazing things don't happen. Can you imagine if Oprah Winfrey had waited for permission to start her own network? She never would have started her own network. Can you imagine if Deb Drummond waited and she didn't listen to her gut, her intuition, to those little signs from the universe, to those little God winks, to those little God nudges? Can you imagine if she hadn't started this movement? We wouldn't all be here right now. So when it comes to the struggle of taking initiative and waiting for permission, I want to encourage you to combat that by just telling yourself, stop waiting for the green light. You are the only person who has to give you permission. So remember that. You are the only person who has to give you permission. Okay, the third struggle that women have a tendency to experience is overwhelm and isolation. Man, this group is perfect to combat the isolation part. Kathleen and Deb have talked about that so often, talking about the fact that, I love what Kathleen said about going deep within the group and within groups that in communities that you're a part of, because that's how you combat the isolation. As women, this is common for us to feel this. And so the way that we can do that is that we can show up, we can be a part of a group like this, and it really makes a difference. The other thing is very often as women, give me raise your hand here. Have you ever felt overwhelmed, like you're starting a business or you're writing a book, or maybe you're writing a book and you're starting a business and you're scaling another business and you're launching this and you're launching that. Oh, and then there's those family things you have to take care of and those personal things you have to take care of and all the things. And it's very, very easy for us to feel overwhelmed. So this is where it's so critically important that you start thinking about how you can delegate and how you can outsource. So here's a question to ask yourself. What are the areas in my life that I can either delegate or I can outsource? Now, sometimes these mean, okay, I've got to hire somebody. You know what? Is it a good use of my time to be cleaning my house? It's not a great use of my time to be cleaning my house. I can make more money and be more impactful and be more effective if I hire somebody to clean my house for those couple of hours and I can go make calls during that time, okay? But what are some things for you? It looks different for each of you. Each of you, it's going to look entirely different. So what are some things that you can do? Do you need to hire somebody to help you with your social media? Do you need to hire somebody to help you with your marketing? Do you need to tap in to other places where you can delegate and you can outsource? Do you need a VA? Do you need a virtual assistant? My old adage is that if you can hire, outsource, or delegate a task or a job to somebody who can do it 80% as well as you can, it's time to outsource or delegate that job. Okay, it's time to do that. Okay, number 4. One of the biggest struggles that women have is that they strive for perfection. I think somebody actually put that in the chat a little while ago. There is such a fear of failure. And so what happens is we get frozen in perfection very often. We know that statistics say that 40% of women delay important business decisions simply because of perfectionism. Here's the deal, y'all. Perfection is like a mirage. You chase it, but you never quite reach it, okay? Done is better than perfect. If you have to write that on the top of your notepad each day, done is better than perfect. That's what you want to stay focused on. You want to stay focused on action, imperfect action, messy action. Nonetheless, action, super important. One of my favorite quotes is, successful women aren't perfect, they're consistent. Okay, the 5th struggle that women experience, and that is undervaluing themselves. So often we as women undervalue ourselves, and that sometimes rolls over into underpricing ourselves or not showing up fully with our expertise of what it is that we know and what we do well. It's really, really important that you own your value. You are amazing in whatever your niche is. You want to own that. So make sure you understand that your expertise is invaluable. Price it accordingly. Show up and don't apologize for that. If you don't value yourself, no one else will. When you stop undervaluing yourself, others start valuing you too. Okay, let me ask you a question. And Pat spoke to this a little bit a while ago. Has anybody ever ever had the struggle of work-life balance? Anybody had the struggle of work-life balance? Yeah, the struggle is real sometimes. And this is so, so common for women. my message of living your and not choosing between either or. It's an important message that you don't have to be just one thing. You get to have multiple facets of your amazing, amazing personality in your life. Now, the flip side of that is it's really critical that you are also creating what I don't actually like the word balance. There is no such thing as balance, creating harmony in your life. You want to make sure that you're setting boundaries, that you are prioritizing your harmony, your balance, and your well-being. It is so important. You know, Pat talked about health and well-being, and this has been a common message here today and in previous summits as well, and the importance of it. And so it's really important that you understand that true success is not about sacrificing yourself, but it's about creating harmony. And the seventh biggest struggle that women experience is one that is a big one, and that is fear of judgment. One of the things I love about this group, again, is that we have an inclusive group here, that people are very, very willing and open and authentic and vulnerable and willing to help one another. And you don't have to fear judgment in this group. That's the really, really cool thing about it. But so often we are playing small to make other people comfortable in our lives, right? Anybody ever done that? Like you're worried about what your family member is going to say. You're worried about what your friend is going to say about the business idea that you have and you're going to start, or the book you're going to write, or the blog you're going to start. One of the top reasons that women don't step fully into their light and into their leadership is fear of making other people uncomfortable. Here's the deal, y'all. And I will tell you, if you hear nothing else that I've said during the time that I've talked this evening, I hope that this is the one thing that you remember. It is so important that you play full out and that you step fully into your light and into your leadership. The world needs what you have to say. Own your ambition, trust your gut, and don't play small. You know, there's that quote that I know many of you have heard before. In the end, we only regret the decisions that we didn't make. And I wondered, is there some truth to this? And there actually is. There's a book that I've referenced before because it's so powerful, and it's a book called The Top 5 Regrets of the Dying. It's a book that was written by a woman who worked in palliative care. She worked with people who were at the end of their life. And one of the things that she discovered is that there are top 5 regrets of people that are dying. And what she found is that the number one regret that people make is that they didn't live a life true to themselves. Man, I would say that those are people who are playing small. They didn't fully step into their leadership. They didn't fully step into their light. So my question for you is, how can you step more fully into your light? How can you step more fully into your leadership? What is it that you need to do? Do you need to write the book? Do you need to write the blog? Do you need to write the chapter in the book? Do you need to start the business? Imagine what the positive ripple effect is that you can make as you do that. So my call to action to everybody and my challenge to everybody this evening is that use this year, use this 2025 as your time to step more fully, more authentically, more in a more vulnerable way into your light. Imagine the businesses we will build, imagine the impact that we will make, and imagine the lives that we will change. So with that, thank you so much, everyone, this evening. I am just absolutely honored to have been with you here this evening, and I look forward to seeing all of the success and all of the exciting things that each and every one of you do this year.
Oh my goodness. Thank you so much, Jen. Let's do some love. La 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 love. I'm seeing hearts. I'm seeing jazz hands.